back to the page, everybody. God is great. In this video, it's gonna be two things that everyone loves: God and supercars. We're linking up with my boy. His name's Yados on Instagram. He's got 1 million+ followers. The craziest car collection arguably in Miami. He's got a Pagani, an SVJ, an 812 Superfast. What the heck else? He's got an STO. He's got every car you can think of. We're meeting him in Brickell, linking up. We're gonna be talking about his story, how he met Jesus, and learning a bunch of information and game from him. And then we're gonna drive the supercars around Brickell. As you can see, my fleet has changed a little bit. My buddy Neil from Timepiece Trading hit me up. He's like, yo, I wanna buy your SF90. So I sold the SF90 to him. He gave me his Audi R8, craziest R8 I've ever seen. Just picked up the Ferrari SUV. We're gonna be taking this one to Brickell. I got my buddy Josh driving the 4x4. And don't forget, we got Big Bros Mansory Europe parked right next to us. But God is great, stay tuned, we're heading to Brickell now.
They give it up, taking these M's they giving us, and running the field like it's 10 of us. I'm cleaning out like an enema.
Right now we're stuck in rush hour traffic. By the way, I don't even know what rush hour traffic is. I haven't experienced this for 5 or 6 years. I'm gonna plug virtual sales. When you're in virtual sales and you get to work from home, you don't have to sit in rush hour traffic. I never leave my office at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think I'm now realizing why I don't, because I forgot people have to sit in traffic on a daily basis. But when you work from home, you don't have to do this. But we are sitting in traffic because it's worth it. Once we get to Brickell, Yados is gonna be there. And he's got so much game. This dude makes so much money. He's got a great relationship with the Lord, tons of influence. And I know he came from the trenches. I think I saw a post when he moved to Miami like 6 years ago. All he had was a scooter and he was living in like shared housing. So from that, and now he's got one of the sickest mansions in Miami on the water. Craziest supercar fleet ever, makes a bunch of money, has a bunch of influence, leads a bunch of young people to the Lord. This guy's got to have some wisdom that I can benefit from and that you guys can benefit from. So we're on our way right now. We're going to be pulling up in 5 or 10 minutes right outside of Moxie's in downtown Brickell. It's going to be popping. Should have some good value coming, so stay tuned.
Y yo no tengo competencia. Si te la buscas tienes que atentar las consecuencias. Le caemos de impacto, nunca damos advertencia. Y te ponemos a dormir sin anestesia. Me ven como...
My story is long, but fast. You know, basically, from a personal trainer, I was just always filming. Like something inside me, bro, was always like film. But yeah, remember, like I started my Instagram. I started 2015, 14. My YouTube, I started 17 years ago. My first YouTube.
Dang.
So what year are we? 2026. This is like
2009.
2009.
I was 9.
So look, like check this out. If you go to YouTube, my English is I am Yados, okay? That's my English YouTube. You go to my English YouTube, you go to videos, oldest.
17, and I'm assuming that means years?
17 years ago.
Dang.
17 years ago, my first video, like riding a motorcycle.
Wow.
Something inside me would just film and put it on YouTube. Like, bro, no one knew it was YouTube.
Yeah.
I was just, something, God obviously was telling me, film it, put it on. I don't even know what I was doing, but I just liked it.
Yeah.
And I filmed everything. I was in a hostel, everything I filmed it. You know, so
Oh,
everything.
so you got YouTube videos in the hostel.
Oh,
that's sick.
If you put Yados Hostel in YouTube, that is 9 years ago.
When you were filming that,
Yes.
did you picture, I'm filming this one day, so when I'm making it, people can, or you were just filming?
No, that's the thing. Nowadays, people, they're like, oh, I'm gonna film this so that, like, they just have
They
bad
intentionally
intention.
document it, you were just filming.
Yeah, no. They just like, I'm gonna make myself look like broker than I am, just to, you know, like, I was just filming myself. I didn't have none of this in my head.
That's crazy.
Actually, like, I was the first Hispanic online coach to make money. Like, no one, in 2019, I bought a Lamborghini. People would not believe me.
Really?
Because no one was making money in fitness, nothing, bro. I'm talking like the next most known fitness coach didn't even have a car. And I bought a Lamborghini cash. Like, that's how far ahead I was in the Spanish, Spain, you know, Mexico, everyone that speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
I was just following my conscience, bro, always, and not listening to anyone. And this is how God uses people that actually, whatever your conscience tells you, you apply it instantly without fear of criticism. Instantly. You know, the faster you do it, well, the faster you're gonna grow.
Yep.
So I documented everything, you know. I made my first million as an online fitness coach in 2018, you know, and 2020 I started teaching other coaches. and that's now I basically teach other coaches. But everything based with fitness, habits, mindset, God, you know.
Yeah.
And what about you, so that my people can? Because this guy Spencer, he's also like one of the few people I know that is in shape, crazy shape. You know, good habits. You know, doesn't party right.
Yeah.
Alcohol, whatever, and he makes a lot of money. What's your story, so that they can know you?
Yeah, so I moved to Tampa, Florida in 2020. I was born in the year 2000, and I'm a college dropout. Moved to Tampa with less than $1,000 to my name. But I moved to Tampa, I didn't know one person in the whole city or state of Florida. I was 20. I had never sold anything before in my life, and I was getting into this life insurance sales career strictly because I saw someone make 6 figures doing it, and I just got the mindset that if someone else can do it, I can do it too. All I need to see is one person doing it. That right there gave me enough confidence to drop out, ship it to Tampa. And yeah, I didn't film any content for the first 3 years. All I did was work, sun up till sundown.
You already were doing like calls?
Calls, ripping calls, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Like a motherfucker.
All day long. I don't sell anymore because I got a team. I was running it up, making good money, multiple 6 figures when I was 20, 21, 22. And then I'm like, all right, I got to tell more people about this. And social media is the way to tell more people about this. Because in my company, you can grow your own sales team. So if I can recruit a bunch of people, I make money when they sell.
Yeah.
So in 2023, I started making content because I figured this is how I can grow my team. And I visited Miami one time, loved Miami. I get to work remote, so I can choose where I live. So I'm like, I got to find a way to move to Miami. And I think God speaks to you through dreams sometimes. And I was in Tampa, had a dream that I'm supposed to move to Miami. That's like the next step for me. And that day, that night, it was 4 a.m.
You did it.
My wife will tell you, I call her, wake her up. I'm like, yo, we're moving to Miami this weekend. And I was paying for my lease in Tampa and her lease. We didn't live together because I didn't want to live with her if we weren't married. But I had my lease and her lease. And within 2 days, we moved to Miami. I was like, I don't know who's gonna take over these leases, but I'll figure it out. We moved to Miami right away, got her a new crib, got me a new crib in Miami, and that's when I met you and Wes at the gym. If you remember, like 2.5 years ago, I had the white Urus.
Yes.
That was my only
just
car.
bought it, right?
Just bought it.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that day, bro.
I remember you guys telling me I need to lower it and put a Y body kit on it.
And also, bro, like I'm a firm believer that if you make money, you gotta spend it also.
Yeah.
Right? Because money is to be spent. Like people have so much fear spending money, and like that's not being abundant.
Yeah.
Like how I see money is God gives me every month money.
Yeah.
You know, so why I'm gonna like just save it and put it under the fucking table? ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo vas?
Bien, leyendo tu libro.
Sí, eso es. Saludos, hermano.
Saludos, papi.
¿Lo has leído o qué?
Claro.
¿Entero ya?
No, estoy empezando.
Eso es, brother. Ahí empezamos.
Leyendo tu historia, papi. Qué motivación yo. Dios lo bendiga.
Y igualmente, hermano.
Qué
Saludos.
chimba, qué chimba. Pronto nos vemos yo.
Claro que sí, tío. Dale caña. Saludos. So, yeah, bro, like, people are so scared to use money. It just, I coach also people like they're not coaches. They just want mindset.
Yeah.
So the other day I did a call with a new guy that came in. He's doing 100 million a year, bro.
100 million.
A year.
Oh,
This
snap.
guy makes 100 million. We're broke, you know, like this guy's making 100 million a year, and he has fear of losing the money, of not having money. Imagine like people think that the more money you make, nah, bro. If you have a fear of losing money, you make more money. The fear is gonna grow.
Yeah.
Because you have an interior problem, and you try to fix it exteriorly. Like, what, if your car, so your engine breaks down, something inside, and we're just fixing the rear wing, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know, so people don't understand that. You know, like one thing is internal, one thing is external, and if you have an internal issue, like you're not in peace, you're not grateful, you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, you know, you feel lonely or whatever, people try to like mask it with making more money.
Yep.
But that's just gonna make it worse. You know, but all these things like they don't really teach them. You know,
Yeah.
people just like go more money, more money. Yeah, money is great, but like money aligned is great.
Yeah.
Because if you're not aligned, money becomes a curse, you know, and it will destroy you. I mean, we've seen cases,
Yep.
you know, like money is money by itself is a curse. If it doesn't bring the wisdom and the habits, you know, and the character to manage it, it'll destroy you.
Yeah. What is one lesson you learned your first year making $1 million? Like, what's a lesson you learned? Maybe where did you go wrong once you started making money? That if you could run it back, you would not do that.
Well, I mean, obviously this is something that's gonna happen. Temptations, the more money. When I got married, like I've been married for 10 years. I met my wife and I was like, she's my wife. First day I knew it. So we were married for 2 years already. And it's when I started to just, I bought a Lambo, I was living in a big house in Vegas, pool, I don't come from money. So, I was probably making, I don't know, like 80K, 90K a month. That was a lot of fucking money, bro.
Yeah.
For like me, my dad, like I've never met anyone that made this kind of money. Like my dad never knew anyone that made that money. Like it was new for me, for everyone, And the gym, girls start looking at you the way, they know you from Instagram, this, the car, blah blah. So started having temptations for other women. Started wanting to have sex with other women. And I was never like unfaithful to my wife because I've always been upfront with her. We built together. But I got very destructive with women, party, drugs, and I got dialed into a group of people that were doing drugs, cocaine, and slowly I just became addicted to that shit. That's where West came in for me, because I was that time I had I just bought an Aventador. It was my second Lamborghini. I had a 720S. I had a G-Wagon. I had a BMW. I mean, I had like 4 or 5 cars, pretty good. But then I saw that suddenly this motherfucker like with 9 supercars in a mansion, and it was like, I don't do drugs. I wake up at 3 a.m. like, what the fuck? Like, okay, like I want that shit. Okay, so I was like, this guy is like, no drugs, no party. Wake up extremely early. Like I only wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the airport. Like I was dying, I was waking up at 8, 9, But I was like, I ain't gonna fucking argue with him. He's obviously better than me.
Yeah.
So I literally followed his content for like a few weeks and then I got his program. And stop partying, stop doing drugs, read this book, wake up at 5, say no more. Like literally, I finished the Zoom call and I went to my little drawer where I had all the drugs. I had a Nike shoe box full of drugs, like cocaine and like everything. I just fucking poured in the fucking thing. I haven't done a drug ever since.
Done forever. Fast implementation.
Very fast, bro. I'm very fast implementing stuff. Like if someone is better than me and he tells me do this, I'll do it. I'm not a fucking ego stupid motherfucker, and I'm gonna question a guy that's like, I don't know, I have a Huracan and he has a Bugatti. Like the fuck, bro. Like his wheels, his own car. Like what are you actually like?
Yeah.
Obviously you don't understand it because people try to understand things before implementing it. And it doesn't work like that. Yeah. Because if you understood it, you will be making it.
True.
So you gotta not question it, apply it, and just it will happen.
When did you develop a relationship with the Lord?
Me, like, I didn't even know my wife was so close to God because, like, for me, God was not. I've never been like, I don't believe in God. Why I believe in God? I just being a kid doing my shit.
Didn't really think about it.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
In my growing up, in my circle, no one ever asked me anything about God. No one ever said anything about God. I feel like that's just normal, right?
Yeah.
Like normal people, normal. Like I saw church is like boring.
Yeah.
Like my mom forced me to do like when you're catechesis. I don't know. When you're little, you do like I don't know how you say in English.
Primera comunión.
Primera comunión?
Yeah.
So she forced me to do that. I hated it.
First communion?
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
I hated it. I was just, like, I have a video in church doing the first communion and I was doing like this and like looking, I didn't know how many times was it. I don't know.
I know what
was
you're talking about.
I don't know, bro. It's so funny. I was boring to me. I don't know. I don't believe in it, whatever. I just doing my thing. So I've always been like this. But I've always been a kid that I would do the right thing. Brought up with good education, like they taught me to be a good person, all this stuff, very good parents.
Yeah.
Not like very rich or very poor, normal, but they brought me in a very good way, be respectful, all this stuff, right? So I always did the right thing, right? So, start with my wife, and this was in Miami, bro. I mean, you met me that time. When you met me, I was not same with God, like nothing.
Really? At all?
I didn't know anything about God.
Oh, wow.
And like the closest I started to get to God was Wes, because Wes would say the universe.
Yeah.
Right? And as he's saying the universe, I started like, wait a minute, like there's something more, right? It's when I started to like you know, do a little bit of research, reading more, and stuff like that. But it happened like this. When I got to the point where like I had it all, like it was 2023, bro, like, you know, flying jet, like 110 foot yachts, like, you know, at that time I was traveling with my wife on 3 chicks. Pretty sure you saw the photos.
I saw that,
and videos. You know, like I had a warehouse with like 13 supercars.
I remember seeing
beside, in Design District.
Yeah.
13 supercars, the Bugatti, everything. Living in the mansion in the water, like all the chicks, like everything, bro. And I remember the point I was in Mexico. I flew in jet with my wife, another chick. We get there, you know, drive to the boat, 110 foot yacht, chartered for 1 week, and like traveling Mexico, like 8 hour fucking road trip to an island. And I was there. I mean, I'm getting the chills right now, even like remember it. And I was there, remember it perfectly in the boat, where the main room, my room.
Yeah.
All the girls were up. I was under, like, and there was a room that the window would be half in the water and half, you know, you could see the water half the window and half the thing. And I was sitting in the bed, bro, looking out the window, and I was like, why I feel so empty? You know, I was feeling just the emptiest I felt in my life. You know, I was just feeling like I had nothing, and I had everything, supposedly, right? And this was like very shocking for me because I'm a guy that if something happens, I need to find a solution. It's not like I just let things slip.
Yeah.
And if I have an issue with my wife, I don't just let it slip and okay, what's going on? Like, let's fix this now.
Yeah.
And I don't just let it slip and let it go. So I just didn't know what was going on. That period, I don't know how. Oh yes, a follower. I was a DM because I did on my DMs. This was like, oh, you need to read this book. It was Conversations with God.
What is it?
Conversations with God.
Conversations.
Have you
with
read
God?
it?
I've heard of it. I've
It's
never
really
read
good.
it.
It's called Conversations with God. It has like 4, but I recommend the first one. You know, so I started reading that book, and it just got me so into, you know, God. And then one day, it was 2024 January, the 8th of January. I was in Bahamas in a yacht, and that day I just had an encounter with God. Like, so many things happened that day, and I was like, shit, my God is real. You know, he's speaking to me. You know, and I was like in shock, and I went to my wife and I'm like, yo, God is real. And she's like, yes. Like if, hey, you're drinking? Like, yeah. Like, she was not even surprised. I'm like, you knew about this? Like, yes. Like, all the time. She's like, why you never told me anything? It's like, because I couldn't tell you anything. You were just gonna laugh at me or something. You're not gonna listen to me. You know, so my wife was very intelligent in that sense. Wow. She never pushed it to me. But she was always praying. She didn't show me stuff written down. Like 6 months ago, that happened now. My wife would be writing stuff, speaking to God. I didn't get the chills, bro. My wife would be speaking to God, guide me, like do this, get him out of the drug, praying for me.
Wow.
Praying, I get all the chills, bro. Look at my body.
That's crazy.
She'll be praying for all this stuff for me, bro.
Dang.
Like, and she'll be like, you know, show yourself to him, this, that, and everything.
That's very powerful.
So,
yeah, that's something that I do for other people. And I know my mom did that for me too. Every night she'd come to my room and pray with me / for me, and it was annoying. I'm like,
yes.
Stop. But thinking back, that's like the best thing in the whole wide world, having a woman that prays for you when you don't even know why she's doing it.
So
that's crazy.
What about you? Like, how did you like, because you obviously thought it was stupid also.
Yeah, so I grew up, same thing. Not dead broke, like we had a house, but not rich at all. Very paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
the same thing. Great parents, and they would force me to go to church every Sunday. It wasn't an option.
Yes.
But just like you, I thought it was the most boring thing ever,
Yes.
and I hated going, but they made me go. In our church, there was a statue of Jesus at the top, and I don't know what it was, but I just found it getting my attention all the time. At the time, I didn't think anything of it, but I knew the only thing I would recognize in that church was Jesus up on the cross, and it would always just like, I would just look at it, like, what the heck is this? And I just remember doing that. But anyway, in 2020,
This is when you moved to, no,
right before I moved to
right before. This
Tampa.
In Tampa. Oh, before
This was in
Tampa.
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I lived in Pennsylvania.
You're from there.
Yeah, I'm from Pennsylvania. I was failing out of college, working at GNC, selling pre-workout and protein.
I also worked in a supplement store in Spain.
Yep. Had zero money, and I just it was like rock bottom. I'm like, I'm gonna fail out of college, and I'm about to be like living in my parents' house for the rest of my life. Like I felt super hopeless. So I didn't know anything about God. I just knew like, okay, in church they tell you to pray when you're at rock bottom, so let me start praying. So for months I was praying like, show me a way, teach me what to do, and just praying because I was desperate. And then I was working out in my basement in 2020, and I just heard a voice. Like it sounds corny, but I know anyone watching that's experienced it would understand, like they know, like there's a voice that you can hear inside your head. Wes refers to it as your conscious. Like to me it was not an audible voice, but it was a clear instruction on what to do.
Clear. You hear it clearly.
You know.
And you know what it's telling you.
It's very clear.
Yes.
And to me at that time it was stop working out, run to your room and read the Jesus Calling book that sits on your desk that I've never opened. There's a book called Jesus Calling. I still read it every morning. My mom would get it for me.
Is it a small book?
Small book, yeah, it's like this big.
Jesus Calling.
Daily devotional.
I think I have a similar one.
Yeah, it's a once a day reading. And my mom would get it for me every year for Christmas. I would never read it. But I heard the voice tell me, go read it. So I ran upstairs, opened it up. It was like April 11th or something like that. And basically what it says was like in life, whenever you don't know which way to go or what to do, cling to God, keep God first, and everything will be okay. So to me, it's like, all right, I'm in that situation right now. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go, and I'm worried. But basically, it was clear direction to me, like, cling to God, keep Him first, and everything will be good. So literally, I ripped that page out, go back downstairs to finish my workout, and the same voice in my head tells me, make a note of this. So I literally have a note in my phone, dated freaking April something 2020, where it's like, this is the first time I've heard God. I took a note of it. God's telling me to...
Big God, my brother.
I have the note in my old phone. God's telling me to drop out of
In the
school.
phone, in notes of the iPhone.
In the-
That's crazy.
yeah.
It tells you the date also.
Yeah, I'll show
I know,
you.
yeah.
So literally in 2020, I'll just tell you the exact date. April 6, 2020. Today is April 6th. I've been stressing all of morning and all last week about my life ahead. It's important. It's an important point in my life where every decision I make will affect my future. I've been worrying recently, do I move to Florida and work with my cousin, or do I stay comfortable and keep slowly pushing through school with no end goal? I've been leaning towards Florida, blah, blah, blah. I have a daily devotions Bible book that I read first thing when I wake up for the last 4 months, truly just skimmed through it. I decided to come upstairs and pray, then open the devotions book and read today's passage, connected to my situation perfectly, blah, blah, blah. I ripped out the passage. Today's the day my life changes and my relationship with God becomes more real and more strong. That was April 6th. So that gave me the confidence to drop out and move to Florida. Because I'm like, all right, I don't need money. I don't need friends. I'm just gonna keep God first and hope everything works.
It's crazy because...
And I forgot about that.
I feel like everyone that's become very successful, like you, like me, like they have to go through a phase where they become lonely.
Yeah, facts.
Because
and desperate.
it's impossible to know yourself and what you're meant to do if you don't blur all the fucking noise.
Yeah.
You know, when you're with people that are not in that mission, they're just distraction.
Yeah.
And like, me, it's crazy like, se ve bien todo, ¿no? Se ve un ángulo. I mean, it's crazy like me, like, so I became millionaire successful before God.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, check this out. When I moved to Miami 2023, which was the last year without God, right? Consciously, because God has always been there, right? I got one of these clients, VIP clients, one-on-one, and I was just gonna like basically tell him to fuck off, because you know I was just like, I didn't like it, like he was just like very God spiritual, and like I just didn't like it. You know, I was like, oh, this guy looks like he don't have any problems. I was about to just like not let him even pay me, like, you know, he wanted to pay me $8K for one hour, like I wasn't about, but something was telling me like, let him come in, you know, like don't tell him to fuck off, let him come in. So I let him come in. So this guy was like a pastor for over 30 years. He was a pastor? Yeah. Oh wow. And I didn't know anything. I didn't know what a pastor was. I was just like, what are you talking about? Let's go to the, I was like, stop the bullshit, eh? What, you know, so either way, he was telling me like, I've never seen anyone like you, in the sense like, you don't talk about God, you don't like have read the Bible, you don't go to church, but you act like the Bible says. I've never seen anything like that. He was so like fascinated. I didn't understand anything at the point, but now I understand. Because I was applying everything, but I was not reading the book. You know what I'm saying? So I also realized that God, as long as you just like act the way you need to act, is going to build your crazy life.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're conscious about it, it's way better.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, and for me, crazy like up to 2023, life was always easy. Let's say easy. I didn't have any issues, like depression or anything. 2024, 2025, 2026 was the hardest years of my life. You know, because I feel like when you get closer to God, the battle is hard.
Devil starts to attack you.
Yeah, because before, you know, your vice is this, so whenever you just feel bad, you go drugs, you go this, you go party.
Yeah.
So you don't experience that suffering.
Yeah.
But now when you're with God, like, you gotta swallow that shit.
Yeah.
And you gotta take it. You know, so that's something also I've learned. Maybe I want to share this with you guys and everyone. This is something I learned the last 3 years. Is for the first time in my life I experienced depression. I thought that was not real. People, when I'm depressed, like, you're full of bullshit. That's not real. I would tell them it's not even real because I never experienced it, right? But I experienced it for the first time, and I didn't understand why. You know, I was making money. You know, I always make money. I've never went down, living crazy life. Business is good. My wife is good. Everything was good. So, holy fuck, I'm depressed. You know, I didn't have a purpose. I never missed because I'm very disciplined. But I was not, you know, I was not excited about it. And I was not like excited about shit, you know? And I understand why. Crazy thing is, like, as I got so deep into the Bible, at one point I've read the Bible several times, and at one point I was reading 4 hours a day. 4 hours.
4 hours a day?
Yes. At one point I was reading 4 hours a day. I wake up 4 a.m. reading 4 hours a day. So I didn't realize, but I became religious without realizing. I started to judge people, and I started to judge things that I used to do before, people that I used to hang out before with, and I never been like that. You know, so by doing that, I became like religious in the sense also like I stopped being myself. I stopped speaking as I speak. I stopped being me, my personality that God gave me.
Yeah.
You know, because you know when you become so religious, you're scared. Like, oh, you cannot speak like that. Oh, Jesus will not say that. Oh, this. Oh, that. You know, like you know what I'm saying. So you're like scared. Now you're scared. Oh, I cannot do this. So I lost myself. Now, and I learned so much. Now I can help so much more people that are depressed because they're depressed because they're not themselves.